This is for the nerds, this is for the brainiacs, this what we deserve. Go ahead and play it back, you ain't gonna touch me, you not gonna do nothing, you are not above me, I bet you wish you was me, I know it, I know.
Jeez.
Stop.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Only Friends podcast. These guys are talking through the intro. We're joined by the one and only...
This fucking guy.
You literally blasting music during the intro.
I was
This
not blasting
is for the
music.
nerds. This is for the brainiacs.
Please don't. Don't ruin our theme song like that.
I liked that. It's a nice remix.
Did you hear the DePaulo version?
No.
Oh, he like freestyled over the entire... It was so bad.
I can't wait.
I mean, you know, good bad, but so bad.
Yeah.
What happened?
I don't know. Just another episode of Berkey stealing all the lights.
What are you talking about? Your shot looks good. Your shot looks good. I fixed it. You're welcome.
No, I was see this shot right here. You had a big old metal pole in there. That
Oh.
scooted over.
I wanted to
okay, I
pick
see.
the, like, where it says poker out loud. I wanted to just put, like, big picture of pubes, but nope.
Weird. You were vetoed. Shocker. You poor
No
thing.
fun on here. Just this is the old man yells at cloud show.
It's a 3-man skeleton crew today. 3-man and woman skeleton crew today. Landon couldn't join us. He seems to be having a blast. Just jet setting, seeing the world, hanging out with girls. We see him in this image.
He's on the makeout tour.
Yeah, he's on the
World
makeout tour. This is true. He's in this image with Alan Keating on a private jet.
In years, it feels like.
Oh, you poor thing. We're heartbroken for you. Can I throw to the thing now?
No.
Okay.
Not quite done yet.
There we are. We see Landon on a private jet, you know, just kind of hanging with Keating, getting some tips on the private game scene, trying to get his beak wet, if you will. Maybe a little more. Who knows? He couldn't join us today. Christian also not with us as he turned.
I mean, will he ever be?
Well, allegedly. It's a big birthday for him today.
Well, we all know commitment is a loose word for Chin, so.
Wow, it's his birthday.
Oh, happy birthday, Chin.
Happy birthday.
Sorry. I'll save that one for tomorrow.
Oh man, big 3-0 for the kid again for like the 16th time.
He says, wow. This is what happens when you're not here to defend yourself, though. I'm trying to encourage you to come back by, you know, putting you in situations where you want to defend yourself.
That is true. You don't hesitate either.
No, I should learn how to hesitate a little with stuff. But should I?
Well, I don't know. You know, you got to feed the monkey brain every now and again, you know? It's got something to say.
Yeah, we were talking the other day about how I know where the line is with stuff, and then I just see it and I just spit in its face and just walk right through it.
Some people play hopscotch with the line. You, on the other hand...
I'm bulldozing right through that line. I'll make my own line later on.
Yeah, you treat it as the tape at the end of a marathon.
Exactly.
For you to sprint through.
Because that's where the gold is.
Right.
Past the line of what's acceptable.
Some would call it gold. Some would call it unhinged. You know, to each their own.
Those are synonymous.
Oh man, there might be some truth to that actually. We have a lighter show today as far as important content goes, but you know, we have some things to discuss. First and foremost, congratulations, Melissa. You finally made it. You've been impersonated on the Twitters.
Yeah, they really should have picked someone else because I'm way too petty, and I will make sure they have a very difficult time until they're banned.
Yeah, you don't play.
Well, it's like, you know, I have free time.
So this all started with this imposter account, which looks like it just...
Look at this. They said they linked to my account and said I was the imposter.
That's strong.
It's unbelievable. Like, and that's when it became personal to me.
That's actually really strong. Did your actual profile say don't?
Yeah.
Okay, so they just
They
mimicked.
copied it but put my at instead.
Right,
so then
yeah.
I was like, okay, fucking checkmate, bitch. So I put any account with no engagement or likes and all my posts is not me. So then it's like, okay, copy that one because you don't have any engagement. So how are you going to copy that one? So then they put any account with my photo that isn't this one is not me. So it's like, okay, well, you're panicking now.
This is really turning into the Spider-Man meme.
I felt like I was in like Billions with like the lawyer and like I was like him.
Yeah, but it really did feel like the Spider-Man meme of like you or like the end of a Scooby-Doo episode.
I mean, it's crazy. It's just.
Do you think you?
I should have picked somebody like more mentally sound than me though, because I will just like fight to the ends of the earth and keep updating my profile to make them keep up.
Well, to be fair, you did get them banned.
I did.
So you know, congratulations. You did it.
Fucker. If you're listening to this, fuck you. And they tried to sell DePaulo's girlfriend crypto. So yeah, I hope you got like your $3 or whatever for whatever your shitcoin is worth, you idiot.
Efro said it's so much easier to simp on the other Melissa account though.
Because there's no competition.
Yeah,
there's no
engagement.
Yeah.
Oh man. Do you think that what the hell was I gonna say? Damn it. I had a question queued up and now
I have a question.
I lost it.
Do you think you ever brush shoulders with this person?
They better hope not.
Like, do you think that you've met this person before?
No, it's somebody who likes K-pop or like they're Korean probably because their likes were all like from 2014, like the things that they've liked, and it was like Korean actors.
Well, they very likely just bought an account.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
so
yeah.
it's probably
well,
not...
maybe or they just bought followers. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
They had the exact amount of followers that you had. It was fucking wild.
It's so insane.
Like they were following the same amount of people and had the exact.
Do you think
amount
they
of
got
followers.
anyone? I wonder.
Nah, you would
probably not because
I
was being so annoying about it. Like I wanted it to be annoying for them so that they'd be like, this one's just not worth impersonating again. She's
just know about
too crazy.
It would have been great if you would have just like went on a cringe tweeting spree where they had to like copy and paste. Like
I know. I thought about that. Like if I literally did have this thought. I'm like, what if I just start tweeting like close-ups of buttholes or something, and then they have to like save it and repost it.
Right. Yeah. I think that might be the play. I'm pretty sure that this is the same account that did this previously to myself and Ingram. I could be wrong. Maybe it's just a copycat, but
it was this person. So before me, it was Dan Zach that they were doing. So it was the same account. Right. They changed names.
But this actual like process has happened in the past. We got another account banned where it started off as like, it might have been like Zachy at one point, and it may have been like Asher at one point. Then it was Ingram. Then it was me.
Right.
And it was just like jumping account to account. So I think, I know what I was going to ask you. Do you think you caught any unnecessary shrapnel on this? Like, do you think anybody, because the names were so similar?
Because I've noticed a couple blocks and I'm like, I didn't do anything to that person. And then I think that maybe they just think that I'm the fake.
Right. The deep fake. Maybe you are the fake.
It's true.
Have you considered that?
No.
Perhaps.
No, I haven't considered that. No.
I started watching it. Well, I actually didn't start. I just watched the preview, but it looks interesting. There's a new show on Netflix. I think it's called Echoes. It's definitely called Echoes, and it's about these two twins. As best I can tell, they're in the like late 30s, early 40s. Is
this what you were watching last night?
No.
Oh, with the different twins.
Yeah, that was just a reality show about cars.
Okay.
Those girls are smoke shows. No, this is like a drama, like a thriller drama, and it's about this set of twins that one of them goes missing, and the other twin, apparently like literally nobody can tell them apart except their mother. So the other twin then starts living both of their lives.
Wow.
As a means to make it seem like the one is not missing, so she can solve the mystery. I haven't gotten into the show yet.
Why would she want to do it herself?
I'm not sure. It was a little gray in the trailer, but man, the trailer is fire. Like I was just hooked. They just kept taking me down these different arcs.
You haven't watched the actual show?
No, and I'm sure it's gonna be garbage.
Be bad.
Yeah. Like, are you familiar with Manifest?
Yeah, I remember we were both watching that. Conrad and I watched that too.
I didn't watch it.
You sat there while I watched it. It was pretty.
I was probably
actually, the first few episodes, I was like sobbing.
Yeah. The first season itself was fantastic.
The first episode, I was like really like not okay. I was distraught because I was thinking about if I was in that situation, and I was just like, oh my God, like
how stupid is the human mind that like that situation could ever somehow present itself.
I know, like they literally go to an island or something.
They were like in Jamaica.
And then they come back and so much time has passed or something.
But they haven't aged at all.
Right. And then like the people that they were, you know, like the one, it was really the one that got me was the girl who was engaged and then comes back.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh my
she's
God,
beautiful.
like, that would be so heart-wrenching.
Right. Okay, so it's like that, or I'm guessing it's going to be like that. So I got hooked on Manifest. I've watched all 3 seasons. The 4th and final season is coming out soon. It's awful. So the thing with these types of psychological thrillers is it's like soap operas.
Yeah.
There's just no end to the amount of twists and turns that they can create.
Right.
And it becomes so fucking ridiculous at some
convoluted.
point. Yeah, but you're so invested, right? Like there's such a sunken cost fallacy to watching shows like this. Season 1 was really good, but like should have just been the entirety of the show itself. Like it should have just ended after season 1. But I guess the plans originally were like 6 seasons for TV plus a movie. And after season 3, I think, NBC just canceled it. So Netflix picked it up, agreed to do season 4. And now I'm just like anxiously waiting to see how this awful series is going to conclude.
Because you have to see.
Yeah. So I have a higher expectation for Echoes because it's a Netflix original, and they're very good about just they don't make too many things like seasonal, right? Like they'll just create a show that's like 8 episodes and then never again. It's just done, right? So I have higher expectations, but just off the trailer, they probably took me through like 6 or 7 story arcs. Where I'm just like
that. I don't like when they give too much away in the trailer.
I can't even explain to you what happened though. Like they didn't give anything away while giving everything away at the same time. It just like,
so it's a good trailer.
Yeah, it kind of like portrays this thing where it's like on one hand she's trying to save her sister's life and discover like what happened to her. On the other hand, she's living this double life. On the third hand, the police are accusing her of actually being the cause of her sister's disappearance.
I mean, the thing is that is already annoying me about this is the fact that she is like she's messing with the investigative process. She's putting herself in a really bad spot.
Well, that's the twist.
And like, what? I'm sorry, but you're not a detective. Like, that's why do you think you can solve this on your own? She went missing.
I mean, that's how Manifest is too. Like, same thing.
Yeah, that woman annoyed me as well. Because it's like, you can't do this on your own. How do you think that you're better than trained detectives? Like, what's wrong with you?
Well, they have other shit to solve, like murders.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's a whole fucking, like, plane that disappeared and people came back the same age years later. I don't know. You would think that they'd have people
also
on that
wild.
case.
It's also wild. And then, okay, so then the final plot twist of this Echoes show, as best I can tell, is that the authorities are accusing this woman leading a double life as being the root cause of her sister's disappearance.
I would also think so, because she's covering for it.
So the trailer kind of hangs on a cliffhanger where you're not sure if she's an evil genius or if she has the best intentions for her family.
She did it.
Because
and she was jealous of the sister.
Maybe, who knows? The trailer ends with the cop going, "I'm gonna get you," or something along those lines, and the woman just menacingly,
groundbreaking writing.
The woman just like menacingly looks at her and goes, "When you say you, who do you mean?"
Oh God.
Because I'm not even sure anymore.
This sounds terrible.
It sounds fucking horrible.
It sounds so bad.
I'm reenacting it. Obviously, they're better.
Yeah, you remember why you started
corny.
watching Manifest?
Because the girls were hot.
But it was right after you watched one of the best shows.
Which
ever.
one?
Scandal.
Oh, fuck. No. It was not Scandal. I never saw Scandal.
All right, so How to Get Away with Murder? Yes.
Also a show that got so bad by the end, I never watched the final season.
You gotta watch Scandal.
I can't.
You gotta.
No, and another show, Lucifer, is another one that I got sucked into. God, I like terrible TV so fucking much.
You really do. You do. Yeah.
Lucifer's
and the
at
fact that
least,
you
like-
didn't like Squid Game is like just tells me
It's
all I needed to
dubbed.
know.
No, it's dubbed. I have to pay attention. I don't have to pay attention to fucking Lucifer.
Yeah,
You have to pay
Lucifer's
attention to
kind of fun,
Manifest.
man.
Yeah.
Lucifer's kind of fun. He's got this thing to him. Like it's a good show.
Yeah, it
it's
is.
not fucking bad.
You know what? It's a good show. I'm always a sucker for like trashy TV with really attractive women, and I'm even more of a sucker for it when I find out like all the women are in their 40s. It's so crazy.
You and my brother would get along over TV. Like he loves like all these, you know, they're girly shows, but he likes it because the women are hot.
Yeah,
Like
well,
Emily in Paris.
I think
I
think we kind of frame it as like, oh yeah, I'm just watching it because the chicks are hot.
Yeah, but you guys actually love the drama,
right? The storylines just like suck you in, and you're just there for the like. There was another show called Scorpion.
I love that show,
which was actually allegedly based on a real life occurrence. So supposedly this guy's a fraud, but to this date, it was the best Tim Ferriss interview that I've ever heard in my life. And the title of it was The Real Life Santa Claus. I can't remember the guy's name. His last name's O'Brien. That's all I recall. But he's alleged to be the most intelligent man in the world. Claims that he has over a 200 IQ and all these things. And somewhere along his career journey, he went to Hollywood and like wrote the script for the show Scorpion. Now, the thing of it is that since that episode came out, there's just like all of this backlash and data kind of disproving pretty much everything that he's ever said.
He's like a con man.
Yeah. But he alleged to have created a company that solves problems for rich people. And there was a really cool
very
story.
Vague. What kind of problem?
Wait, hold
Okay,
on.
so I'm gonna
Is
tell
this
you.
the guy that was on Bertucci's fucking podcast the other day?
What guy?
There was literally the thumbnail of
the rags to riches thing. I didn't watch
no,
that.
there was a thumbnail that Bertucci has. It literally says ex-con man now.
That's the new one.
Yeah.
It hasn't come out yet.
Oh, okay.
So this O'Brien guy, he claims he developed this company that like basically is a problem solving company, and it will solve like literally like it'll attempt to solve any problem. So it's not
what
specific
does that
to
mean
tech.
though? Like he's
So I'm gonna
like,
give you an
I got in a
example.
fight with my wife. Solve this.
Yes.
Really?
So here's an example. This very wealthy man, his son was engaged to this woman that he was very confident was gold digging. And he wanted to get to the root of it. Like he personally.
PI.
So that's effectively what he did with his firm, right? So he hires them, and they do some like dirt digging on her or whatever, and they discover that like
I would love to work for this company. It sounds so fun.
Yo, this show is fucking amazing.
So they discover that the accusations are correct, and this woman is definitely a gold digger. She's trying to get a green card, marry into money, and then divorce, whatever, right? So now the problem becomes finding a way to separate them, because the father and the son had this big falling out because the dad was trying to tell him like, you know,
the son was fucking the mom.
No.
Oh.
Relax. What kind of?
Thought that's where this was going.
No.
Okay.
What is that? An Oedipus complex or whatever?
I've been watching too much Pornhub.
Yeah, apparently. So they had to devise a plan to basically out this woman without the son knowing, so that he would believe it, right?
Why did the son not believe his dad?
Because he was in love with
fucking her.
He was in love with the woman. It's not.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm.
It's not the mom though. The son is engaged.
Okay. Oh, the son is engaged. Oh,
yes.
I thought the dad was engaged
No.
and the son was fucking his fiance.
No. Relax. You have been watching too much porn. That's abundantly clear.
Your father's always traveling.
Oh, stepmom.
I'm stuck in this dryer, stepson.
Yo,
They're like, we could solve that problem for you.
I have to say, there's a real problem with porn today.
It's so
Hey,
weird.
please,
All
please.
incest. It's all
It's-
incest. What's up with
so
this?
fucked.
Who's behind it?
It
Who's behind
is-
big incest?
Freud.
Somebody on this fucking street, probably.
You think?
It has to be Freud.
Who's pushing all this incest content?
I don't know.
It truly is wild. It's impossible
Someone's
to.
got to be behind it.
I mean, maybe it's Pornhub.
Why? What's their incentive for doing this?
It's getting clicks. I mean,
But something
they
they
have,
have to have an incentive.
They definitely have funneled us as consumers down this narrow path where like we just have to
Maybe
be okay.
it's 23andMe so that people will find out if they're siblings.
Could be.
23andMe is the reason why there's so much incest porn.
Yo, it's
Big
so
if true.
fucked up. It's like the worst thing ever.
23andMe, new Epstein. What?
Wow.
Okay, so
Why is everybody sleeping with their mother or stepmother or stepfather? I don't
it's
get
it's never actual.
So weird.
It's never
you know?
actual incest. It's always step
Oh, look,
incest.
Guapo's got the article.
Here are the reasons why.
Sibling. Look at that. I mean, ugh.
Yeah, it's pretty
Come
gross.
on, man. I mean, I'm not gonna yuck
fuck.
their yum, but like,
The
still.
the real trap too is that they always pick the hottest porn stars.
Well,
to
also,
do
they
the
never
incest
look
stuff.
like moms. They're like 18.
Yeah,
Like, how old was she when she had him?
Of course, like
A
any girl
baby?
in her like mid-20s suddenly becomes MILF porn.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, back to the story. So what happens is they stage a fight between the father and son. So the Scorpion outfit says like, okay, bring it up to your son again and, you know, really escalate it. Let the fight happen. So that happens and the son storms out.
Mm-hmm.
And
This is what the show is about? This company?
Yeah,
Okay.
loosely, but yeah. So the son storms out and runs away to a nearby Virgin Island or whatever to elope, and like that was the plan. So I don't recall what the details were where they kind of shooed him into this plan to elope or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But effectively, he just elopes with this woman, right? So goes to the Virgin Islands, gets married in a small ceremony. Everything is official and whatever, and they fly back to America after the 30-day waiting period to be cleared by, you know, the ICE or whatever to get green card status or whatever. She files for divorce.
Wow.
And all of this time, like the dad's letting it play out, right?
Yeah.
But all of this time, this O'Brien guy and his company have been manipulating the entire situation. So
that he thinks he's right?
no, so that she thinks she's right. So she files for divorce and everything happens. One day she opens the door as like she's, you know, moving out or whatever, and deportation agents.
Wait, so
are
they
there.
convinced her to divorce him?
No. She divorced because it was
she
always
was a gold digger.
Yeah, it was.
Okay. They
So
didn't make that up.
right. So she files for divorce, and instead of getting divorce papers, she gets greeted by deportation agents, and she's like, "What's going on?" Yada yada yada. The whole thing was staged.
Mm-hmm.
So the wedding was never official. There were no official documents linking them together in marriage. And whenever she went on to file for divorce or whatever, she was basically like outing herself for self-reporting that it was all a scam. And so now the son finds out, obviously, that she was only gold digging, and he and the dad were never financially affected because this like Scorpion team or whatever set up the
Right.
entire wedding
I kind of like my storyline better, though.
where some random stepmom gets banged.
Well, that the
There was no
stepmom is
stepmom.
gold digging, and the husband and the dad wants to divorce her, but the son doesn't want that to happen because he's in love with her and is sleeping with her.
I don't.
So he wants her to stay in the house.
Couldn't he just be with her if they got divorced?
No, because lives at home.
I don't follow. You should write porn, I guess.
I was gonna say this is somebody
You
that
wouldn't get it.
Of course not,
You wouldn't get it.
because I'm not into incest porn. Weird.
You wouldn't get it.
But yeah. So anyway, like the long story short is that the show Scorpion was kind of like built off of that, where it's really kind of dumb because the original thing that may or may not have occurred in real life, like this outfit of problem solvers, they were more like Scooby-Doo detectives than like real life cops.
Yeah.
And the show, they're like constantly in gunfights and, you know, big
yeah,
action, and
of course.
they're not like solving these sort of
They
problems.
know their market.
Yeah, it was very strange. But yeah, that's the type of trash TV that I'm into. You know,
I've been watching The Rookie. About a
that's a police show.
Yes.
Okay.
And it is just like a fun, loving, laughter show. I love it. It's such like
Such
it's
a Conrad
it-
description.
it is my
Best
fucking-
storyteller on.
I know he doesn't know where he's going with it, so he's just using words to describe it.
It is my what do you call that? My
Fun, loving laughter show.
No, my dirty addiction.
Your guilty pleasure.
There you
Okay,
go.
there
That's,
you go.
That's what we're looking for.
Dirty addiction. Your dirty addiction. Jeez,
My dirty
Louise.
addiction is watching The Rookie.
Thank you for getting us there, Melissa.
You're welcome.
Conrad was on an island all
I'm
by
the
himself
Conrad
there.
translator. I always know what he means.
Somebody, for
Sure.
God's sakes, needs to be.
Yeah. Maybe because I lived in New York too. I get it. You know.
Gotta spit shit out.
That reminds me, when you were talking about incest, that reminded me.
Yeah.
That reminded me of that
This-
time.
Yeah.
This will be very relevant again. It reminded me of that
The link.
TikTok that we saw yesterday.
Yeah.
Where it was on some podcast, but some girl wrote in a letter and said that for her 6th anniversary with her boyfriend, they did a 23andMe. And when it came back, so she was adopted and didn't
No
find out
way.
till she was a late teen, and her boyfriend was also adopted. And when the 23andMe came back,
No.
it said that they were siblings.
Full
do this.
siblings.
Full-blown siblings.
Don't do this.
They'd been
Yep.
together for 6 years, and like
They
honestly,
must have been adopted in the same, like they didn't really leave the area.
was
Usually they try and spread them out, I think.
was
for that
this
reason.
trying
Like,
to
if it's a small town, like you watched that documentary
Yeah.
about the doctor who was inseminating all of his patients.
Oh yeah, it was so good.
And then they were really concerned because it was a small town, and they were really concerned about incest and inbreeding.
There was something along the lines of like 50 some patients. Or
100
not
over 100.
okay, 100
What?
siblings.
Over
yeah.
100. So he ran a fertility clinic, and then instead of using the donor sperm, he was using his own.
That's fucking insane.
So then all of these, like, they started doing 23andMe, and then they would see that they had like a bunch of full siblings, like over 100. And then they were like, what the fuck's going on? So they got in contact with each other, and then they like started to find more and more. And there's probably more than that because like not all of them are in the know.
Holy shit.
But they were like really concerned. The town was concerned because it's a small town and they're likely going to cross paths. So
Wild shit.
yeah,
I think the real wild thing is that he's not in jail.
I know.
Wait, he's not what?
How is this person just not in jail? He was literally leaving the office, walking down the hall, jerking off,
Yes.
coming back,
Putting that into that.
inseminating these
Yes.
women, and he's not
Well,
behind bars.
That's fucking insane.
I think
nuts.
I think it's just malpractice, right?
What?
Like it's not an
rape.
actual
It
crime.
has
It's
to be something more than that.
It has to be some type of rape. I don't know.
wait, why?
Why?
Because he went and jerked off down the hall when his patients down the room and then put his semen in that.
Yeah, but that's what they were asking for, just not necessarily his.
Wow.
Oh wait, so
Apologist.
No,
So
I'm just
maybe
saying, like, they wanted to get pregnant, like they wanted semen, they just didn't
Right, but
want
they
it to be
did not
hit.
consent to his semen.
Yeah, that's
I think it's
fair.
fraud.
That's the
But that's
part.
why I'm saying it's malpractice.
I think it would be fraud because
That's what malpractice is. Well, to some degree,
I don't think so.
it's negligence.
Yeah, which
What?
not exactly
Fraud's-
the same thing.
fraud's
Because like
different,
these people
though.
are looking at like they're picking out their semen.
Yeah.
No.
They're
I
at
don't.
the semen store and they're saying, I want that one. And then the doctor gives his
No.
dusty ass semen instead. It's absolutely
No, it wasn't a fertility.
ridiculous.
It wasn't a fertility clinic. He was just the person to inseminate them.
He
But
wasn't even a doctor, he was a nurse.
no, he was a doctor. But
He was a fertility clinic. I thought.
he was a fertility doctor. So the way I understood it was they were bringing the sample to him.
Right. They were shipping in the
Yeah. So
prime
so to
semen.
be fair, like they probably did select, but I think
Yeah.
I don't
Of course
know.
they did.
Well, no, not necessarily. This was the 80s.
No, because some of them were like they couldn't get pregnant and they were trying to get like their husband's semen. And then he put his instead.
Yes. That's true. That part's true.
These
For
people
sure.
are- this is a dirty man.
Right? What a fucking
Wait,
nasty
what is
dude.
this called?
I forget, but it's really good documentary on Netflix.
There was another one that was not criminal. So this is obviously like somewhat criminal. There was another one on ESPN Plus, and I can't recall what the name of it was. It was like some sort of jokester or something like that. And basically, the backstory was this guy would dress up for major sporting events and try to be a part of them. So like, he was like this tall, lanky dude. So like, he dressed up in like Milwaukee Bucks warm-up suit, and then just like went on the floor during the All-Star game and jumped in the layup line.
Wow.
And they like caught
That's
him.
bold.
Wait,
Yeah, and then he like dressed up as a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader and like was on the field during the Super Bowl. Like he was notorious for this. Like he was on the Jay Leno show or sorry, the
Wow.
David Letterman show, like all these
Why?
things.
Is this the guy that finally got kicked out of the Warriors stadium for? He was like the fake Klay Thompson.
Possibly, but maybe not. I don't know.
This guy actually looks exactly like Klay Thompson.
No, this guy was white and
Okay,
it was
the show,
older.
By the way, is
Okay.
called Our Father.
Yes.
What a fucking name.
But this one was
good, too.
this was taking place in like the 80s, I think.
Oh, okay.
So he was older. He's passed away since. But what ended up happening, and I can't remember why, I think it was a sperm donor situation where he had donated sperm, and somehow he ended up with like 30 some odd children that was unbeknownst to all of them, and they all found out like right around
Oh my
his
God.
death, which was, but it was a happy story, like in the sense that this wasn't a byproduct of malpractice or anything like that.
Well, they're
like,
not really supposed to do it with that many, though.
No,
I
yeah.
think, because of like inbreeding.
But I
risk.
think it was like in the 80s, so they may not have been quite as careful, and it was a much more spread out area, which I can't recall That wasn't the interesting part of the story to me, even though that's what the story was meant to be about. What was interesting to me was like this fucking clown, like, you know, parachuting into Joe Robbie Stadium and like getting tackled and thrown out and shit like that.
Berkey, before you get, you know, the mob comes after you, do you want to maybe refine your take about the semen?
I'm just, I don't. All I'm saying is that it seems.
I'm anticipating the sound bites.
Okay, fine. I'm not saying he did anything right. I'm just saying that like
there's just not a specific law in place, maybe. But it should be considered assault.
Fine. Yeah, fine.
You can put your semen in whoever you want.
That's fair.
There's my.
You probably get like 9 charges here.
Yeah. If I knew my doctor was down the fucking room jerking off and then sticking his semen in me, he goes, "Oh, well, I'll be right back with the samples," and then he's actually jerking it, probably thinking about what he's about to do.
Yeah, probably.
Fucking gross.
No, yeah.
And
he
then
definitely
puts it inside.
Like
Come on, that's assault.
Definitely.
Could be argued for sure.
Look, it's definitely something. I'm just saying, like, rape is a very charged word.
I think it's everything.
It seems like I wouldn't just want to uniformly use that word to describe anything that's sexually related.
I mean, you're putting a child into somebody that's like, I don't know.
It is sexual though, because he's jerking it down the room.
Like you're putting your semen into somebody, and that's the end result of when that happens.
You're just. I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm just saying that I would be slow to use that word.
Yep.
It's assault.
Fine. Assault is not a charged word. We can use that all day long.
It's 100
I'm okay
things.
with that.
I'm just trying to keep you from getting canceled. I'm looking out for you.
I feel like I'm not the one who should be canceled here for saying we should be careful with that word.
I'm black.
Oh,
Never
okay.
getting canceled,
sorry. Guys, if you didn't know, Conrad's black, so that's fine.
Wait, but your screen name on WSOP was I am not black.
Oh, they made me change it.
That's misleading.
Yeah, they made me change it. Kerry P now.
It is funny that he had to change it, given the fact that he's actually black.
That was the funniest shit ever. Big Republican Berkey.
And then they wouldn't let my brother change his name, Hard for Gosling.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. He was like, "Hey, my name's Hard for Gosling. Could you change it?" They're like, "No."
Absolutely not. Don't blame them. Christian's DR Mamacita says, "Hello, guys." Christian also says hi.
Wow. Tell him to come back when he feels like it.
Little birthday sex for the kid, I guess. You know, down there with the DR Mamacita.
This is Mamacita fucking around.
Oh man, she's probably
part of the show now.
Cooking him a little cake. You know. Baking him a little cake.
She said she'll pass it along.
Thanks. We appreciate that. I wish. Oh, okay. Actually, I was just able to hover over it and see the picture a lot closer. Excellent choice. Whoever has created this spam account.
I know, that's like his type.
100%.
Yeah. It might actually just fucking be him.
I've never seen them in the chat at the same time. Never.
I know. I actually haven't either.
Never. Not
like,
one time.
how has Chin not interacted with the DR Mamacita?
Because they're the same.
Because they're the same, right?
Yeah, they're the same.
It's like
he's fucking catfishing us.
It's so his type. Like nobody would know exactly that.
Yeah,
like,
no,
that's 100% Chin.
He's catfishing us for sure.
Wow. This is what he does instead of fulfilling his duties on the show. He just makes accounts with fake girls' photos, chats with us.
Do you think that that's his only interaction on? Like, he's definitely been on dating apps. He claims he never has. I think. I think he's got a big titty woman profile out there. You know what I mean?
What's his motive?
What's any catfish's motive, Melissa? Who knows?
They usually are closeted and they want to chat with men.
Do you think that's true?
I don't know.
So
no, I'm gonna get canceled. I'm just guessing.
Chin's back.
I could see it.
This happened in the poker industry. I don't want to name names because I don't know how sensitive of a topic it is. But in the early 2000s, there was a professional poker player who went by Dana and was catfishing like all types of dudes in the community.
So wasn't this somebody who's known?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Very much so.
That's interesting.
Well, the thing is, I don't want to speak too much on it because I wasn't paying that close of attention to these types of things back then. But the whole point I'm trying to get at is like, what was his motives? I don't think he's closeted.
I think he was having a grand old time.
Oh, for sure.
Knowing who it is, I know he was just having a grand old time.
0 dating apps, and then his mamacita says better be.
Oh shit!
We fucking forced Chin to bring out the fucking laptop
Yeah,
and
I know.
phone.
He had to bring out both.
He's got 2 devices. Strong move, man. Strong move. This is advanced catfishing for those of you out there looking to get in the streets. Maybe he wants to get on MTV. I don't know. You know, not that bad of a play.
I guess.
Have you ever watched that show?
Yeah.
The reactions to me are always the most.
I always feel kind of like, I don't know. I just like feel for them. A lot of times they're just really lonely.
I feel dirty watching it.
Why?
Because
you're turned on.
Yeah, nothing gets me more hard than when a giant fat dude shows up
Yeah, exactly.
who's pretending to be a 105-pound stick thin model. Christ.
You've been there,
It's your
you've been
guilty.
there a couple
What
times.
is it? It's your dirty addiction.
Dirty diaper. No, I always feel like the reactions are like so contrite. Like by the time Neve shows up with a camera crew, you know you're being catfished. But every single show has the exact same framework where there's this like period of hope. Which is like,
makes sense.
Come on.
They've developed an attachment.
Yeah, but the camera crew is there.
We all make excuses for people we have attachments to.
Fine, I agree with that. But the camera crew is there to capture your emotion whenever you see a giant hairy dude.
Do they get paid?
I don't know. I feel like reality shows
It's wild.
almost never
they
pay
get
talent.
all this free content, like not like free, they have to pay production, but like the talent doesn't get paid, and they're the whole reason the show exists. And then I guess they get, and not on Catfish, but on these dating reality shows, they get deals after. So that's sort of like,
Yeah, they get laid.
okay,
Definitely not on Catfish.
that's
They have
not-
to get some type of incentives to do this.
I don't know, man.
like on Too Hot to Handle, like their big incentive is that they get.
What the fuck is too hot to handle?
It's a dating
You
reality.
said it like it's like everybody knows
Everyone
what
knows
too
it.
hot to
Yeah,
handle
everybody
is.
knows what that is.
The
It's
only
been on for
fucking
3
person that's
seasons.
watching that is him.
No,
Yeah, you watched it.
I did?
Yeah.
Wait, was this the Aussie show?
There were some Aussies on there.
I like Aussies.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You liked the one Georgia. She was Australian.
Yeah.
But she was like the hottest one. But yeah, they go on whatever. It doesn't matter what the plot is. But they afterwards they always get deals through Instagram and whatever to wear stuff.
For like Survivor, nobody ever got anything.
No.
No? Okay.
I mean, Survivor fame, I guess.
Yeah.
They might get like a day rate, like $800 a day.
Yeah, they gotta get something. I feel like it's.
I mean, a day rate's like pretty good. If you're making $800 a day on Survivor and you're staying there for like 30 days and then getting booted, that's okay.
yeah, you didn't spend a dollar for the 30 days.
Right? Yeah. Well, I mean, you make $24K too, so it's like that's a nice gig. But I'm kind of surprised that reality TV hasn't moved almost exclusively to YouTube at this point, because it's so easy to reproduce in a kind of guerrilla style.
Well, we should do that.
Oh,
Sure.
should we?
Yeah, I think we should.
What do you
I
have
think,
in mind?
I think we should have cameras around the house. I think we should have like
No,
cameramen around the house.
absolutely
Yeah,
fucking
we'll do 2 months of filming.
What are you, drunk?
No,
Yes.
I wish.
Did you fall off the wagon?
No, I really think.
We're gonna have to fake that you did if we have a fucking reality show.
Sure.
Sure.
I've been telling you to fake a drug addiction for I don't know how long, so you can
God.
start getting seats again.
Yeah, it's
should.
fucked
I mean,
up.
imagine they're gonna be, oh, well, Berkey went insane. He's
Honestly?
tweaking. We got to get him on the show.
Honestly, I should just like start doing lines of pixie sticks, because me snorting sugar would probably be the equivalent of a normal person snorting coke anyway.
No, that pixie sticks sting when you snort them.
Or I could
Like,
do
really bad.
pre-workout.
All the kids that were snorting pixie sticks in middle school ended up in rehab.
I could do pre-workout.
Yeah,
That'd
I
be a
mean,
strong
you'd
one.
probably get fucked up from it,
Yeah, I mean, I'd get caffeinated.
Yeah.
Wow.
but like really fast.
Sure, let's fucking go, baby.
You could boof it.
I could what now?
You could boof it.
What does that mean?
doesn't
Stick it in your
know that.
ass.
Well, I had a feeling that's what
The
that
anal
meant.
membrane is very thin and lots of
Aw.
blood vessels, so when you put stuff in there, it absorbs very fast.
You seem to be
I've never done
a
it.
bit of an expert there, Melissa.
Yeah, I
I've
have
never done it.
Mm.
You've done it?
no, but I have been pulled over one time, and I had a friend in the car that had something in their pocket, which is like this big. As we get pulled over, he shoves it up his ass so far that when he got searched and had him cough and bend over, nothing came out.
It was fully in his rectum.
fully. most disgusting shit ever. It's like, how do you put something up your ass? Like,
you got to do what you got to do. You didn't want to get arrested.
Oh my God, I'm going to jail. I'm not putting anything up my ass.
You can avoid jail by putting something in your ass. You're not going to do it.
That is true. You should just stick it up your ass, man.
I don't want to do it.
It's retrievable.
You don't even have to stick anything in. Just push it out.
Just stick it in your crack. They're not gonna fucking make you bend over.
I did that when I was.
They were not gonna what?
I put weed in my crack when I was pulled over as a teenager.
Yeah.
But like they couldn't really like pat me down because there was male officers.
I had one incident where I was driving back to college my junior year, and I had a girl that I was seeing with me at the time in the car. It was just the two of us. And I got pulled over. I was maybe going like 4 miles over the speed limit, and I had this like I want to say piece of shit car, but like relative to the time, it was great. It was a Geostorm. So it was basically like a really cheap sports car. Mm-hmm. And the cop pulls us over, whatever, asks us like where we're going, yada, yada, yada. I tell him back to college. And he was just like this real hard ass, like straight as an arrow kind of militant type. Mm-hmm. And he's like, get out of the car. And I'm just thinking like, well, I don't have to, but resisting here seems kind of silly. So we get out of the car and he's like, do you mind if I search? And I know that the correct answer is always say no, but I was also just in a hurry and I have nothing to hide. So I'm just like, sure. He goes, okay, if the two of you could go
That's
over
how you
the...
get something planted in
I
your
know.
car.
And that's what I thought about after the fact. He's like, if the two of you could go place your hands on the hood of the car. I go, absolutely not. Like,
you said what?
I said no.
Oh, you just said fucking no, right?
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to put my hands on the car. Yeah. Oh, it
That's
must be
'cause you
fucking
see
nice.
do you see the color of his skin?
It must be fucking nice.
Look, I gave you, I said I could say no 3 different times in this and expected him to let me drive away.
Yeah.
But I understand things are different for you, man. I feel for you. I don't know what you want me to say.
Yeah, I had a white friend that was just always around non-white people. And he liked to talk back to cops and whatever. Mm-hmm. There was this one time he said exactly what Berkey just said. The man was picked up, slammed on the front of a fucking Dodge Durango crash bar, and just like completely wiped the floor with immediately. And it's like, Berkey got to say that because he is a nice young white man in Pennsylvania.
I was 21 years old.
I'm not going to put my hands on the car, no.
But I was terrified the whole time because I'm just like, man, if this fucking guy comes back and tries to tell me that there's crack in his car, I'm going to be goddamn pissed. I don't do any drugs.
Yeah.
Anyway, everything was fine. He let us go. But I have a question for you guys. I need some advice.
Oh.
I just got a text from someone that I have absolutely zero text history with. And it says, hey, Matt, it's Matt. Would like to speak to you briefly for a minute.
It's Matthew, the astrologer.
Yep, that's who it is.
What do you do in these instances?
I would say,
Who the
what is
fuck are
this?
you?
What is this regarding, and what's your last name?
That seems awful curt.
I don't know this guy shit.
Yeah, that's
I
fair.
don't have to be polite. I don't know who it is.
No, you're
Tell
right.
me who you are, and I'll be polite.
Well, he did. He said he's Matt.
Yeah, Matt who?
Also, he called me Matt, and that's strange to
Matt
me.
Damon? Who is it?
Right.
Or am I supposed to know you by first name?
It is a little weird that
Matt
like
Damon?
what I find to be
You
weird.
just say Matt Damon ?
That's the play.
Yeah.
Actually,
Somebody said, no, new phone, who this?
what I do find to be strange is if you feel like you need to qualify it's so and so, because like I may not have your
Do you
number
know
saved.
a Matt?
I know 87 Matts. That's the problem, and obviously I don't have them all saved.
Did
But
you say Matt Damon?
question mark?
Yeah.
But like if you feel the need to qualify, I'm list first name thereafter. And you're doing it because like you assume that like I wouldn't otherwise know by just looking at the number, right?
Uh-huh.
Give me a fucking last name.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
do you think you're the only Matt in the world? You're talking to
That's
a
a very
Matt.
common name.
Yeah, but not at the
Hey,
same
Matt,
time.
it's
It's
Matt.
like, yeah, but at the same time, it's like, hey, it's Matt fucking Determined. Like,
Huh?
like,
was that?
who writes their last name and hey, it's Matt X whatever.
Matt Determined?
And
His last
I
name
was
is
just like,
Determined.
I looked up and I saw Determined right
Last
there.
name is Determined.
I looked up and the first thing I
Hey,
saw was
it's Matt
Determined.
Determined.
We have to get him off the mic.
You couldn't think of just like Smith? Like, you
I
couldn't think of a
just
last name. You said
thought-
Matt Determined.
I looked up and I saw the poster. It was the first thing I saw.
we just have to get you off the mic, man. It's gone too far.
He couldn't have just said Matt Determined.
Oh man.
But like, who says their last name when they send a text?
People who feel the need to qualify their first name, obviously.
Have you ever sent a text saying, "Hey, it's Matt Berkey"?
Yes.
Yeah, I've sent it with my last name.
I would never send a text that says,
Like,
"Hey, it's Matt."
The only time I would use only my first name is if we just exchange numbers in person.
Agreed.
Something.
Or Tinder or whatever.
Yeah, I don't really do that much.
Oh,
but yeah.
okay.
I don't really. I'm telling you, I don't really meet up with people from there.
You don't
I'm
have to meet.
scared.
You just have to get the texting phase. And then
I did that with one guy from
then
that was on
ghost.
Shark Tank.
Yeah.
I wonder what happened
Then you
to
blew
him.
it.
Yeah, I was playing the Millionaire Maker, and I was just like, "This is too. I'm too busy. I can't really meet with you." He's like, "Let's go to a tasting menu." This is what happens
Wow,
when
he was actually trying.
Yeah, I know. This is what
Jesus.
happens when a guy actually tries and offers me something nice. I'm like, I'm busy. But then when he's like, "Hey, come over at 1 a.m. Let me do dirty things to you," I'm like, "Oh, this is unacceptable. I'll be right there."
That sounds about right. Shout out to Hey, it's Matt for the super chat. Thank you. We appreciate it. Oh, Christ, man. Okay, let's get to the real meat of the conversation. Our young friend Ethan, Rampage Poker, went on the Aces Cracked podcast yesterday. He had some choice things to say about ACR and his current downswing.
Brian DePaulo said, "You actually suck and you don't study." One guy said, "The only person surprised that Rampage is down 700 bullets is Rampage." One guy said, "One of the most ridiculous heaters in poker history is over for a guy who VPIPs 80% plus lifetime. I'm saddened and shocked."
So here's my experience. Like, I'm not going to say that it's like all rigged and bullshit. Like, it just feels like something's
Just
wrong.
some of it.
Brian DePaulo said, "You actually suck and you don't."
I
All
have
right.
one thing to say before we go into this. The three hosts of the podcast should never have worse camera and audio setup than the guest.
Well, you can't have vloggers on them because they're obviously using like
But
professional
you
grade
have
shit.
a podcast.
Yeah.
You should have.
To be fair, I don't think it
Good.
comes out in video.
Okay.
I can only find it on Spotify and iTunes, both of which were
Okay, it's
audio.
just audio.
Yeah,
All
but
right.
I think they just
All
took
right,
like
all
the Zoom
right.
video, and
Just saying.
I understand. Your point is valid.
Thank you.
So let's talk a little bit about this. Is ACR rigged, first and foremost?
Most likely not. I mean, I say this about all of the sites when people say they're rigged, is like they are not printing as much from poker as you think. They're printing from these casinos.
Mm-hmm.
That's where all the money is. If anything's going to be rigged, it's there.
Yeah. But there is an argument to wanting to disperse the money equally.
Sure.
You know, not having massive winners, not having massive
But
losers.
there are massive
But this
winners
is-
on there.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
And
this
he's
is
a
the
massive
opposite.
loser.
Yeah.
This
You know,
is the
for
opposite.
every person losing as much as he is, there's somebody winning that much.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I listened to the whole podcast today before we got on the show, and I have to tell you, it was very reminiscent of Tough Fish 2005 days. I can't believe he didn't talk about the cash out curse. I thought for sure he was going to talk about the cash
I'm really
out curse.
superstitious. Like, I still believe in the cash out curse.
Yeah,
I'm
well.
like scared of
Tough.
like superstition stuff.
It's not a superstition. It's a belief that somehow there is a part to the algorithm that says if you cash out, you will lose.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's not superstition. That's believing it's rigged.
It's conspiracy theory.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, and there are a lot of them. There's the cash out curse, the doom
There's
switch.
the one that, the biggest stack always wins.
yeah.
Maybe they're just better and that's why they have more chips and are winning.
Well, there is an element to running below EV, obviously.
Yeah, of
but
course.
I think what would be more relevant than him crying foul would be him showing his PTR4
PT4,
stats.
yeah,
Or
for sure.
yeah, what did I say? PTR?
PTR. I don't know
Oh.
what that is. Some
PT4.
kind of car.
No, I don't know where I was going with that. But
Not determined?
yeah, his
That's your new name.
oh man. But yeah, his PT4 stats, like if we could see that he's literally like on a bottom
Yeah.
0.1% run
Right.
as far as being below EV,
Like
then
if his graph is like crushing, but he's like
getting
know,
absolutely mobbed.
yeah, like maybe he's running super bad, like in the 5K plus blind levels, or
Yep.
But he hasn't shown that.
Something tells me he doesn't use it.
Yeah.
Like I know Ethan, I love him to death.
Yeah, no, I think he's awesome, but
and
I think he's wrong.
I just think he's new. Yeah, I think he's like he kept using examples of like I'm beating live and I'm beating WSOP
right,
online.
which are significantly
Way
softer,
different
and
pills.
when your
Way
edge
different.
is lower, your variance goes up.
Significantly.
So that's sort of just how that works.
Yeah, and I think like it's easy to say that's not variance because it's a straight graph down.
Right.
But that doesn't necessarily mean that it's not high variance.
I mean,
right?
he's playing 1Ks and 630s on ACR. Those are arguably some of the toughest tournaments online.
Yeah. At least for American facing companies.
For sure. 100% for American facing.
Yeah.
So it's just sort of like, you know, maybe cut those ones out and see how it goes.
God, I hate to defend ACR here. I really want to be on Rampage's side.
But this is sort of it's sort of an important thing because it's like he does have a voice in the community, and like these are sort of baseless. I mean, it's based on his personal experience over 700 something tournaments it's not just he clipped out this run, which is like a misconception. It's like if you go on SharkScope, the history hasn't been reset. This is from the beginning of him playing on ACR. He's not won.
Yeah, we have his SharkScope
and
stats.
it's like, you know, that could be variance, or it could be just that it's a tougher field which factually it is a tougher field than live MTTs and WSOP.com. It just is.
Yeah.
It's not even close.
So you can't expect to have the same results on both. And maybe he is like really downswinging as well. But I also think that like him having less of an edge on here, it's going to feel like you're getting hit in the face with bad beats and variance.
Things also compound. I think that's why the PT4 database would be very important.
Yeah.
Right? Because like if he's just starting to make mistakes as he gets crushed more and more in big spots, that'll be demonstrated through that data.
Right.
Way more than like SharkScope data. I did run this in the variance calculator for MTTs at Prime Dope. So for anybody who's not familiar, primedope.com is a tool that you can utilize to figure out like risk of ruin, bankroll requirements, and things of that nature for MTTs. Can you pull up the other one, Guapo, the actual parameters? It's the one with the yellow background. So basically the way I set this up was, as he pulls up that chart, is I used all of the stats from SharkScope. So average field size, 590 players. Places paid, I used 12.5% payout matrix. Average buy-in, I did 115 because I think SharkScope takes post rake, which was they were using 101. So you could see here in the right-hand corner of the payout matrix, it's 102.35 cents is an 11% rake. And then I said that he's going to play 1,000 MTTs. The reason they ask for that is for bankroll requirements. Like, what's the probability that you'll go broke over those 1,000 MTTs? And then the true sample size was 790 tournaments, which is what he's played. Gave him an endless bankroll at 700,000, which is not super relevant for these stats. And then we ended up giving this confidence interval. So now if you want to pull up that line graph. So what you see in the dark green and the dark red are the outlier cases of the best run, worst run. And what you see with the green shading is the confidence intervals. So he is a part of the worst run line. So you could see right at the 800 mark, his expectation is to lose somewhere in the neighborhood of like 55,000, which is right around where he's at. But effectively this happens 1% of the time. So Guapo, if you want to bring up the actual web page, you can kind of scroll a bit. So when we go down to bankroll requirements, basically his risk of ruin if he has a $56,000 bankroll is 1%. So he has hit that like 1% mark. Keep going. Next one. Yeah, so the bankroll risk of ruin simulate. Yep. So you see the 1%. If you highlight that, it'll come up yellow. You can see that roughly $56,000 downswing is 1% likelihood of risk of ruin, or 1% likelihood of happening. And so effectively he has reached that outlier event, but it's still within the confidence interval. It's not something that we can look at and say like, okay, this is such an extreme outlier that we really should dig a lot deeper. Now it is a low enough, like it's a bottom 1% run, so it is worth examining further, I think. But again, that's where like all the stats from PT4 or Hold'em Manager, if he's running that, whatever he's pulling data from the actual gameplay on, that would be worth examining. And I think that like it's probably pretty critical that examination actually does take place, assuming that he has the data. We saw a lot of these graphs coming out during the pandemic where people were on like a top 1% run. And we just saw these graphs that were just shooting straight up, and, you know, they're just mashing all the high rollers, and, you know, some of those guys kind of faded into darkness. We haven't heard from them since. Others have started to regress to the mean, and then others kind of just like maintained and proved that they actually were crushing. But in any event, like it's more difficult with a top 1% run because they're not going to be willing to just share their PT4 data, right? Like they don't want to demonstrate that either they're sun running or that there's potentially something nefarious happening.
Right.
When you're in a bottom 1% run though, like that's a really critical time to actually get that data either analyzed by somebody who knows what they're doing or published publicly, so that, you know, if you are just seemingly getting bent over and stuck, then you should actually, you know, question the integrity of ACR at that point. So yeah, I don't know if Ethan has that data available or not.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Sam Lee made actually a good point that if you think you're being cheated, you're also likely to tilt easier while you're playing.
Yeah.
Which
Agreed.
is definitely true.
Yeah, that's why I said like that PT4 data will demonstrate that.
Yeah.
Right? Like if he's just playing like shit, he's not going to have like a red line through the roof or a blue line through the roof. Like all of that stuff's going to regress to the mean. He's not going to be running that far below EV. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I would be curious, like, if he cut off the top portion of his buy-in range, how different it would look. I would guess
if we sort.
Yeah, because I would just like guess that
it might look worse.
You think? Because more bullets? Or?
Yeah. Well, I'm guessing that the majority of those played are not at that upper echelon because his average buy-in is still only 101.
Right.
So if we just remove that.
But if you're playing between, I don't know, like a 22 and a 1K, you know, it's going to be.
I guess what I'm saying is if there's not a lot of volume at the high end and we remove it,
it's not going to make that much.
Maybe it removes like 15K of losses.
Yeah.
But now maybe we get into an even worse sort of run.
Right.
Than the bottom 1%.
Right.
Because now we've lost way more buy-ins per average, because the average buy-in is going to drop. Like maybe it drops to 80, maybe it drops to 90, something along those lines. But as the average buy-in drops with the amount of volume that he's put in, the run becomes worse and worse and worse with these sort of results.
Yeah. I mean, he does play a pretty like high variance style too.
Well, I don't even know if that's true. What I know to be true is that he's in a learning phase and he's gotten a lot better from a year ago.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't know how long this 700 games takes place over.
Right. You can see, you can check when it starts, but yeah, I don't know.
On the shark scope, you're saying?
It's probably just not enough of a sample to even judge off of, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think using this, there's other ways to like make a case for something nefarious being going on. I don't think this is one of them.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And it's not like well, I don't know how SharkScope tracks things, because it does say that he has 20 final tables and 8 wins, but based off of his graph, it looks like he has no significant wins. So maybe those are like
satellites will show up as wins. Yeah,
exactly. But yeah, I mean, basically it's saying that he has like, oh, by the way, one critical thing that I forgot to mention when I ran that prime dote calculator, that was assuming that he's dead even. So I gave him a 0 ROI.
Right.
If he's a proven winner and has like a 30% estimated ROI, now we should really look into this, because of course this is not a bottom 1% run. This is like an impossible run. But I don't think there's anything demonstrating that Ethan is winning at a 30% ROI on ACR. It could be the opposite.
Yeah.
Right. He very well could be like a negative 30% ROI, and now this isn't even a bottom 1% run.
Yeah.
This just falls like well within one standard deviation, right? So I do think that emotionally I understand where he's coming from. I think like logically and statistically there is a few things at play here. Number one, he's learning every day and getting a lot better. So his ability now compared to the first tournament he played is going to be night and day. Number two, this is a bit of a regression to the mean. Like, I don't know what his ROI is on WSOP, but I promise you it's not true, right? Like, because I think it's going to be in the triple digits and maybe even higher, right? Like he's won, 4 or 5 rings on there. Like, there's just a very good likelihood that he's in like the the 100 to 400 ROI
Didn't you win
range.
a bracelet on there too?
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, like while he was learning, basically, he was basically operating at like 100 to 400% ROI. Like
Yeah.
obviously that's just inflated. So the fact that like variance is correcting in a tougher pool is not really shocking, because as you kind of mentioned, when you have less of an edge, you're taking on more variance. He also got wrecked this summer playing live, so it's not like as if these things don't happen.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to make it out to sound like, or to discredit him or
No,
make him sound like
we
a
love
complainer.
Rampage, like for what it's worth.
Yeah, I just know what this is like. Like we all started, and especially when you can't look people in the face and know exactly how it is that you're losing, it feels very cheaty.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we've talked about this like countless times, that the human brain just like cannot comprehend variance. It's just
Variance, risk,
Yeah.
Our tolerance to it thereof.
Yeah.
We're just not hardwired for really life.
Like we want reasons for everything, and we want sort of
Yeah.
like some sort of consolation, and sometimes you just run bad.
We're not built for this life, man. I'm telling you.
No, we are masochists.
Oh, to say the least.
Yeah.
Like we're built for this like nice, simple black and white world.
Yeah,
where,
I go out, collect berry. I eat berry. I go sleep.
Yeah, predator over there. Avoid
put penis
predator.
in other thing, make baby. That's how we are. But here we are clicking buttons on a computer and losing thousands of dollars or winning thousands of dollars. And
I do kind of find it fascinating in the sense that like our brains are obviously constantly evolving, and neuroscience is like one of the least well-known sciences out there.
yeah,
Like it's probably
neuro and psychology too.
yeah, hand in hand, of
Yeah.
course. And I find it fascinating in the sense that like we could literally be seeing the brain evolve right before our eyes, but we can't be aware of it, because even things like consciousness are up for heavy debate.
Yeah.
We have like really no concept of,
Where it stems from, or
Yeah.
how to differentiate it from.
or even to the level of like which reality is subjective versus objective.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we struggle with all this stuff, right? So I do think that there's this aspect where it's like what we're relatively certain of is that we have this reptilian brain that was like, you know, a bit prehistoric man, and it's very goal oriented, right? It's procreate, eat, sleep,
Dopamine.
keep yourself safe. Yeah, dopamine incentives. You know, basically it's driven by chemicals, and it's driven by all the things that will A, keep you alive, B, keep you producing the next generation, and then C, keep you satiated.
Yeah.
Right? Not even happy. It doesn't even pursue happiness. It just pursues satiation, and the chemical release is actually what gives us like a bit of happiness, right?
Right.
But then we have this whole other like post Neanderthalic brain, if you will, this more evolved, this more conscious being that is aware that we are conscious, that is aware that we aren't animals,
Yeah.
and aren't just subjected to this reptilian brain, and they kind of coexist with each other. And I wonder how much evolution has taken place to where the reptilian brain just keeps getting less and less and less relevant, or less and less present generation after generation.
I mean, it takes a lot of consciousness. You have to be so aware and conscious to not fall into the reptilian brain.
Kind of.
I think it's more than you think.
Well,
like,
look-
I feel like we are operating from that place like more than we think we are. I think we would like to, in an
Anecdotally-
ideal world, like think that we're in control of everything we're doing.
Oh, we don't
but-
control anything. I'm all on board with that. But I'm speaking specifically to the needs of the reptilian brain, the procreate, the eat,
Yeah.
the sleep, right? If we were to compare data of 2022 to like, let's call it 1922, and look at the birth rate, for example, we're way down
Yeah.
globally, right? Like we've just stopped
I
reproducing.
mean, part of that is from like women, you know, being allowed to be separate from not property, you know, and like have
Yeah.
careers and stuff. And not like have to be a wife and reproduce in order to have a home. But
Yeah, but there has to be like some correlation there to desire and drive too, right? Like just because they gain certain freedoms doesn't mean that their reptilian desire to procreate went down.
yeah, a lot of people kind of think that it went just towards like pets. The maternal.
Possibly.
That's filling the maternal hole for a lot of women.
I guess the whole point that I'm trying to make, though, is that it seems as though there's some very loose evidence, albeit, but some evidence.
Someone said birth control. That's also definitely a factor,
yeah,
too.
of course.
There's a lot. I'm sure it's like not just one thing. There's a lot of factors to it, but yeah.
Yeah, well, right, but that's all focusing on like why reproduction is not taking place. But those are all choices.
Yeah.
Right? So like.
I mean, yeah, birth control is pushed on us like really fucking young, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's not influenced by environment, but what I'm getting at is like at the end of the day, generally speaking, outside of like certain circumstances, people are making a conscious decision of whether or not to have a child.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe I'm implying that's more conscious than it is because I'm sure there are a lot of like happy accidents. But on the refraining aspect of it, like people are choosing whether or not to refrain from having children. Let's put it that way. And another good example would be like if we compared sleep. So if we compared like sleep data in 2022 to like sleep data of call it 1922, or even go further back, like let's call it 1422, right? If we were able to gather that data, it's almost certain that we're sleeping less now, right? And of course, that's a byproduct of a busy, noisy world, and we have a lot more distractions and things of that nature. But I guess what I'm implying is like, doesn't that also kind of insinuate that the brain has changed? Our brain chemistry is now.
I don't think so.
Why?
I think it's environmental.
Right, but I'm just
I think
implying
if we went back to like it's you can see it like in I don't know, certain, if you place a human in an environment, like we're gonna adapt to the environment. Like
yeah, that's what evolution is.
Yeah, but if we went, let's say there was an apocalypse and there was no civilization anymore and there was none of this noise and everything, we would probably revert back to like sort of archaic ways.
Well, scientifically, we would say that we would evolve back into archaic ways.
Okay, well, so this is a semantic discussion.
Well, no. Evolution is a physical adaptation based off of environmental impetus, I guess. Right? So environmental influences lead to physical manifestations, like the idea of a water amoeba.
But it's not evolving through like genes and stuff. It's just an environmental adaptation.
Yeah, I guess that's the part that I'm not confident one way or the other on. And I don't think we know enough about neuroscience. I'm just kind of speculating that it seems like if we are procreating less, if we're sleeping less, if we're eating, I guess maybe would be difficult to qualify because we've probably never been more obese. But we've also never had more abundance. Yeah, whatever. I guess like the whole thing I'm trying to get at is that I do think that there's a chance that like the human brain is actually evolving right before our eyes, but it's impossible for us to have the context to know that. And there could be, societies generations from now that are completely devoid of this reptilian brain. And I
don't think that's true. I don't.
Well, that's the premise.
Yeah.
That's the premise behind the singularity. Is that we will evolve out of the reptilian brain and into AI. Right?
Well, then we would just be, we wouldn't be just like this conscious brain. We would just be cyborgs.
Yeah, exactly.
We already are technically cyborgs.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a merging of the two, right? We would have like wearable tech to the degree where we're like, effectively part AI, part human. That's the idea of the singularity. There's other, obviously, theories where we just get wiped out by AI and humans just no longer exist.
Would you consider this mansplaining?
No. Do you?
Sort of.
Okay, fine. Let's get on this topic because I think that this is something that bothers me a lot.
Okay.
Somebody said to you earlier today, you should not, and follow that up with something. That to me is mansplaining. Okay. I'm explaining to you hypotheticals and theories that I have, or speculations that I have.
Mm-hmm.
What is mansplaining about this?
I think it's just your tone. You have a very mansplainy tone.
I have to tell you.
I don't think you intend to, though.
Don't turn this back on me. That sounds like a you problem.
I don't think it's just me.
You come across with this, when you say things, you say it very confidently.
Yeah, like as if it's a fact.
Yeah.
I qualified it multiple times.
Yeah, but then and then if I say something, you'll like dispute it with your theory. That's the mansplaining part. I think.
Oh, see, that's the problem. I'm not disputing. I am giving you my side. You're welcome to follow up with your side, which you did multiple times. You said, I don't think that's true, followed by something
I'm
else.
just curious. I didn't really feel mansplained, but people were saying that in the chat. So I was just wondering if you considered that mansplaining.
I do not. I don't know how to speak on a subject if that's considered mansplaining. Like,
I think sometimes you do come off mansplaining. That was probably not.
Yeah, I think the problem is also you just come off very confidently what you say. Like you're not just gonna say something you don't have like
conviction.
Yeah, like you just won't even say it. So it's.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, like I'm by no stretch of the imagination asserting that these things are true.
Yeah, no, I wasn't saying.
I've just thought about them.
Yeah.
And I think that, like, I don't even have heavy conviction. Like, if somebody was like, no, you're dead wrong, and here's a little bit of evidence why, that's fine. I'm super open to that.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I don't think this is what they're saying.
Well, I think it's relevant because it probably is. It does seem to be a problem. Like, the same thing happened with the commentary we were having about commentators versus table talk versus gameplay and
I
whatnot.
wasn't here for that. It's like I leave and all of a sudden we're in war versus Hustler.
And then you just get fucking showered.
And then I'm showered because of it. Well, I said to Landon that night, we were in the hotel room and I'm like, it's going to cost us all seats, isn't it? And he's like, no, it's just him. I'm like, you'll see.
The thing is that I don't understand how this turned into a critique of Hustler, because the irony is that the people that I think it applied to most relevantly have no pushback. So either they just think that they are not a part of the conversation at all, or they think it doesn't apply to them, or they just know that they're not very good at what they do and they accept it. But for some reason, everybody at Hustler got up in arms as if I was singling them out, where all I was saying is that Nick and Ali are very much head and shoulders above the rest.
Yeah, I mean, I watched the podcast and I saw the comments and the tweets and everything, and my perception of it was sort of that you had them in mind as you were saying those things.
I definitely didn't, and I understand that the comments on the video,
from an outsider perspective, that's how it looks.
I understand the comments on the video got misconstrued. I wish I had it in front of me, but somebody said something to the effect of, the reason why HCL is crushing is because of X, Y, and Z, period. And then they followed up and said, if you did a poll and asked people if they would rather mute the commentary or mute the table, they would all vote mute the commentary. And I replied and said, that's because commentary generally sucks. Meaning, like, I took those as two separate phrases. Like, HCL is crushing, period. If you polled people on live streams, they would choose. Go on.
That's a logical conclusion to make, that you would be referring to.
Yeah, I said I understand why they got. I understand why the confusion exists.
Yeah.
I'm explaining the way that I read the statement.
Right.
Was that they were two separate things. So when I said commentary generally sucks.
Let's just clear this. Do you think Hustler's commentary is trash?
No, not at all. I just put it a tier down.
Who is your favorite Hustler commentator?
I'm actually.
Mine's Charlie.
Who's Charlie? Raver?
The new one.
Raver, right?
No, Charlie. He's great.
Maybe I'm confusing the two.
You are. Charlie's new. He's great.
Okay.
I tweeted about him.
I thought Raver was new.
But anyway,
too.
You know, Berkey's war on Hustler has cost us all seats. So that if you don't see us on there, that's why.
I don't have a war on Hustler by any.
Berkey's war on food. Berkey's war on Hustler. Berkey's war on the reptilian brain.
Berkey's war on everything.
I have no wars.
Is there more wars?
I have no wars.
Hey
Berkey's
guys,
war on helmets.
since we did circle back on the reptilian brain, can we give a shout out to Lamanna for making another deep run last night?
Wow, that is a
You
stretch.
want to talk about a guy
because he's
no,
turtle.
No, listen, you want to talk
Tortoise.
about a guy? Yeah, exactly. He's a turtle. He gets it done, and there's no variance there. You know where else there's no variance? Right here. Good spot for a plug.
Oh, would you look at that?
Clearly, Lamanna is learning from osmosis. So, academy.solveforwhy.io.
That is true. That is true. We still have one seat remaining. We get that popping next weekend, which means you guys are in for a treat next Thursday and Friday, as we will have a late night show on both Thursday and Friday. We'll be coming 8 o'clock, unhinged as always.
Well, also speaking of commentary, I will be commentating for Party Poker Millions Online the next 3 Mondays. So the 5th, the 12th, and the 19th. Because Henry just said in the chat, it's cool. You get all the European commentary gigs, which I do. I feel at home with the Europeans.
Why exactly?
I don't know. I think that this
Melissa's war on Americans.
United States life is just passing me by.
Mm-hmm.
Just a little too much of a cult.
What does that even mean?
You know, it's so weird. It really hit me when I was not in the U.S. Like, all of our media is just our own shit, and it's so sensationalized and like hyped up and stuff. And news elsewhere is not like that, and they get global news. And
well, BBC is kind of similar, right?
We get a different version of everything. We're in a cult. It's okay, but we are.
Well, it says war against Americans.
I'm womansplaining, yes.
Henry said it's the Balenciaga tees.
Oh, yeah, I know. I know. Well, so I'll just become like a UK citizen and live there like 6.5 months out of the year.
You know, it rains 6.5 months out of 6.5
You know, I don't
months.
really like go outside, right?
That's true. That is true. This is why we have to give you the
Am I
orange.
wearing a sweater in Vegas? Yes, I am. It's for fashion.
Is it in the middle of a heat wave? Yes. Yes, it is. It's 116.
It's dry. It's a dry heat.
For what it's worth, it's cold everywhere inside in Vegas.
Yeah.
Not here. I turn the AC off as soon as we walk in the fucking door.
I'm sweating balls right now.
Good. It's 110 outside. I'm in here cranking it to 78. I can't take it, man. That vent is literally right above me. It just pours on me like a wave of coldness.
In the house?
No, right here.
now.
Literally right above your head.
It's 74 degrees in here.
Yeah, it's comfy. This is my version of room temp.
I could feel like the moisture coming off my head.
It's gross.
You're one to talk. You're one to talk. This guy shuts off the air conditioner at night.
Oh,
whenever
yeah.
he goes to bed.
Landon always comes out and
no.
is like, Conrad always turns off the AC.
Yeah, no, I fuck Landon.
Why do you turn the AC
I wake
off?
up at 6 a.m.
You do that on purpose to make him mad?
Well, I wake up at 6 a.m. and it's just too fucking cold because you've turned it down to like 65.
Yeah.
And since I'm already up,
You just turn it completely
I just turn the
off.
bits off.
Because he comes out and he's like, I woke up sweating. Conrad keeps turning the AC
This
off.
motherfucker turns it down to 64, 65 degrees.
Yeah,
it's
and
like,
then-
who could ever do this?
And then the cleaners come and they're like, Matt, we have to wash the sheets in that back room. They stink.
Why don't they? I wish that I need to make mine stink more so they'll wash mine.
Just have Conrad turn off the AC. You'll sweat your balls off.
It's already hot up there.
Why? Turn
I
on
don't
the
know.
AC.
It is on.
Turn it down lower.
I wake up sweating every day.
My room is 64 degrees. I sleep in the Arctic.
Yeah, yours is really cold. I remember when Nicole stayed in there and I went in and I was like, what the fuck?
It's like walking into a meat locker.
Yeah, it
64
is.
It's incredible.
absurd,
No,
man.
it's so comfy. I literally have like a winter blanket.
Like, I like sleeping in it, but the second I wake up, it's like, I can't get out of, like, I can't be in my room.
No, that's the point. You wake up and you get the fuck out of bed.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it works.
Get out of bed, get out of your room, get your day started, get on that morning routine. Jump in this, what it incentivizes you to do? Jump in right in that sauna. 162.
Do you not
let's
get
roll.
tired after using the sauna?
Sometimes I'll take like a quick 5-10 minute power nap.
The fuck did you just say? A
What's
5-10
the
minute?
point of
What type
that?
of lie was that? You definitely fall asleep for at least an hour. It's
No,
never
no, no.
5-10
Well, he's in there
minutes.
laying in bed watching Alone the other like 2 hours.
That is
10 minutes is sleeping.
Yeah.
sometimes that's true. No, usually after the sauna I just get in the shower and take a cold shower. So you're up, man. You're
This
ready
is
to rock.
why we need to try. Promise you, if we just film a reality show for 2 months, like Conrad turning the AC off every day so that Landon suffers is a hilarious plot line.
Yeah,
It's such a good plot line.
It is funny.
Every time this motherfucker turns it down to 65, I'm like, oh, yeah? Yeah, 65, huh? All right. Off.
I would kill you.
What is worse? Like, he's such a fucking nuisance, man.
Conrad?
Yeah. He runs around like shutting off the AC for this poor kid.
He's like
just making him sweat. And then like if Landon's not awake in time, it's okay. You're gonna wake up to Conrad absolutely choking in the bathroom.
absolutely vomiting.
Yeah, he literally sticks the toothbrush deep enough into his throat that he gets to the point of vomit.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's just like I don't understand what the purpose is.
You just hear
I have
him
to brush my
retching.
tongue.
So
Bro, I brush my tongue too.
You're putting it too far if that's happening.
No, you don't understand. I smoke. My tongue gets yellow. I have to. No, me. I look at my tongue. I have to brush it like this.
Look, we know that you need to brush it. That's not the question.
No, in this manner, and this is what happens. I don't put shit in my mouth.
Then you puke,
Why do you
and then
puke?
it's not clean anymore.
What do you mean?
Why do you vomit when you brush your teeth?
I'm gagging.
No, like get that shit fixed, man.
No, you don't understand. Like I just something I have to do.
Like I brush the back of my tongue too, and it makes me cough. But like I'll be like,
you both are retching.
Stop.
We hear you.
yeah, you're not far off from me.
You are not far off. You're quite loud.
I'm definitely just going
I cough.
like hard.
He's dry
I
heaving.
just do like a silent gag if it's too far. But like you guys are like doing.
I'm sure they
some-
appreciate that.
You guys are doing some weird shit if you're puking while you're brushing your teeth.
Don't compare the two.
You guys sound the same though. I
no, we
don't
do
see
not.
what's going on.
A simple.
No, you definitely do, but like just a little bit less. Because like I'm literally like
You sound like you're puking.
All right.
I am. Well, sometimes I
I'll
am.
throw it
That's
out
so
there
weird.
right now.
You shouldn't be throwing up when you're brushing your teeth.
I will throw it out
I
there
mean,
right now. I
I
have
do
no
have a
gag
couple
reflex.
Okay,
So
but you
I'm not
cough.
gagging. Yes, I cough. That's way different than what he does. He literally vomits.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I
he
do.
literally does.
If any time I had a drink the night before, I vomit.
Jesus Christ.
So gross.
So every day then.
Yeah.
Not really. I don't
One
drink
time,
that.
like the hallway
Maybe.
bathroom for like a good 3 weeks just smelled like puke. Is that what happened?
That was a tequila.
Oh,
night.
Okay.
you threw up all over the floor. And
okay.
right?
Okay.
That was a 1942 night. That was oh no.
How do you know if you have no gag reflex, Berk? Because I stick my fucking toothbrush down my throat to ensure that my breath smells good.
Yeah, what's with these dudes deep throating their toothbrushes? You
What
guys,
do you mean? I have to. I have a fucking yellow tongue if I don't.
I mean, you just stick your tongue out further.
Also, just stop smoking.
Whatever.
You're a grown-up.
Stop going to the gym or something. Fuck.
Yeah, Matt determined.
Yeah. Those are definitely the same. Runs around shutting the AC off, runs into the bathroom puking,
I know, poor Landon.
comes out laughing at the top of his lungs, like cackling like a witch. Just
gets
can't get enough
bad.
of it. Poor fucking Landon.
Poor Landon.
No wonder he's out on the makeout tour.
I know he's left the house to go on a nationwide makeout tour because he cannot stand the puking and the AC being off.
What's gonna happen whenever he like starts actually bringing female companions back to the house?
And they're
He
sweating
has.
balls at 7 a.m.
And they wake
Oh, when they sleep over.
and they wake up at
I've-
6 o'clock
I
in the
think I've-
morning.
Oh, I brought-
110
there's been
degrees.
I've had one person sleep over once.
You did?
Yeah.
Was I out of town?
No,
I feel like I should have given him the Papa treatment.
you did.
Oh, you're right. Now I know who you're talking about. We took care of that.
Yeah.
Get him out of here.
I don't really bring people around. I just because it's who
Yeah.
wants to go to a girl's house when she has four
The
roommates?
simple answer is fucking no one.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely no one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I keep my room at 65 and I still wake up like if I have somebody sleep over, I still wake up like pouring sweat. If Landon is in this poor room where it's 83 degrees,
And
Conrad
like, the
has his
sun
windows.
beaming in.
Yeah, Conrad has his windows open.
Yeah.
In the middle of the summer.
Yeah, heat wave.
Yeah.
It's 120 degrees.
I
120 degrees.
wouldn't open my motherfucking window if I didn't wake up in 64-degree weather. What do you want me to tell
But
you?
then you're leaving the room.
You
What?
selfish.
You're leaving the room though, right?
No.
Or are you staying in the room?
I normally stay in my room.
Okay.
Well, anything for Conrad, I guess.
It's so crazy.
That-
This,
and you know
but seriously,
what?
we need
Like
a
67 would be
crew,
fine.
a film crew, just for 2 months.
That's also not true because he does leave his room and he walks out the front door and he smokes a blunt right
and
in
then
front
he
of our
opens
house.
a Pepsi.
And he opens a Pepsi and he leaves them
And
both.
leaves it on the counter.
He leaves not on the counter. He leaves them both sitting on the ledge right in front of the front door in case like a mailman comes by and wants to get high and drink a pop.
and drink a hot Pepsi. Conrad, the fans are requesting a CSA on your game yesterday.
Shit was popping. We had fun.
Corey would say otherwise.
Facts.
Sorry, Corey.
Big facts.
You know, Corey got fucked in the first like hour. It was pretty ugly.
Wow.
It was an ugly scenario. But game
You
was
really
poppin'.
invited your friend Corey as the whale? Messed up.
Yo, listen, I didn't invite him as the whale. He was playing fucking Halloween dress up. Nah, he got in some ugly spots, and there was just whatever.
This happened when I went to your meetup game too.
No, you were the whale.
You're over there flatting 10-8 on the button versus under the open.
Night,
And
night.
another call.
See you later.
Fucker.
Bye, Melissa.
Like, this guy's fake action, by the way. Don't give him action. He's literally fake action.
He is fake
He'll
action.
show
You
you.
just-
He'll
you
show
just
you
said I
one.
called 10-8 off with you.
Yeah, and you'll show like
Oh
you'll
my
show like some
God.
shitty pre-flop decision, and then you'll just be like laughing the rest of the time, and people think you're action, but you're not.
Oh my God. I'm not action.
He's only fake action post.
Yeah, you're fake action.
He definitely
post.
plays way too many hands.
Oh
pre.
yeah, 100%.
You
Because you
guys-
like to play bingo.
You guys are both wrong.
He is a bingo player.
You guys are both wrong.
He thinks that like
I'm way more.
he thinks he has like the bingo strat down.
Uh huh.
Yeah, like he has all the daubers.
And
in his room
honestly,
and
he
shit.
might, because he did flop a royal
He willed
when
that.
there was a
That
there was a
real-
bonus.
No,
that
no,
was-
he
that was-
manifested that.
Time out. That was a real hand.
Yeah, deuce
That
four
was-
diamonds.
A royal?
Oh.
Royal.
I thought it was a straight
that
flush.
nice royal.
No, if you had the steel wheel, you would have
Made more.
gotten 10K. But yeah, you know what? If Corey and I are both whales, I'm in good company. So
That's true. That is true. Fucking predatory Conrad. over
yeah,
there.
predatory
guys,
fake action
Wait,
Conrad.
time out. I didn't say Corey was the whale. I said he just dressed up like on Halloween. You were the whale.
I was the whale.
You were the invite. The game ran around you.
Oh, okay.
That's what happened.
Gotcha.
They just wanted to take a picture with the famous podcast lady.
Yeah.
Did you know? Did you hear that there's a war against the term lady?
I did not hear that. No.
You're in the wrong Twitter streets.
Yeah, you
No, I-
rumors
I-
like
I didn't see this on Twitter. I was told this. I don't know if there's anything backing it or not. One source doesn't seem like enough. But
I
yeah.
think there's better things to have a war against.
I want to know why somebody texts you and say, "Hey, Matt, do you know there's a war against
I think-
Who the
word
hell are you
lady?"
texting that's sending you shit like that?
Well-
I'd be like, don't ever talk, like, don't ever send me this
no.
bullshit again.
It wasn't a you should correct your vernacular type thing. It was more like, do you think this is as ridiculous as I do, type of thing.
No.
But to be fair, it was two guys talking, so like we're not really qualified to decide.
I don't get. I literally called myself a cum rag on this podcast. I don't care what you call me. Okay, it's not gonna like change my self identity. Like I don't give a fuck what you call me.
Oh,
Just
man.
whatever. Use whatever. What? It's just like what the fuck, man. There's better fights to fight. Like there's actual like shit going down on there's shit going down on the streets out there. There's women getting actually raped and shit. Like let's focus on that. Like let's not like be whatever. Call me whatever you want. I don't care. Call me misogynist. I don't care.
She's big mad.
Rolls right off me like Teflon, baby. I cringed when I said that. That was really cringe. That was really cringe. Can you delete that? That was so cringe.
Absolutely not.
Fucking hilarious.
Absolutely not. Somebody
Oh
clip
my
that out.
God, that was so
Clip it out,
cringe.
get
What
it
did I
on
just
social.
do?
Somebody clip that out.
Blast that shit.
Melissa, do you wanna close the show with a little ASMR?
Yeah. So, guys, thank you so much for coming to the podcast today. And if you guys want some more, just Venmo, and I'll just send you voice memos or something. Okay, bye.
Please like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Later.